Hey everyone, we got a few questions on how we repaired the slide wall surrounding our slide that had some water damage in it. We did this about the same time that we repaired our subfloor. It's actually not that difficult, which is great to know because apparently it's a common problem. The number one thing you want to do whenever you have an extensive amount of water damage is to identify what caused that water damage. For us, we're pretty certain that it was one of the previous owners that had not closed the slide in all the way or had it opened all the way out, just gauging by where the water damage actually was around the slide and in the floor. But we also had replaced our slide topper because it didn't have one, and we also repaired and replaced our roof. So after you've identified what causes it, then you can get down to repairing it. The first thing we did is we removed the upholstered facing. This was part of our demolition, but normally there's an upholstered piece that's on the outside. Then we removed the wood that was below that was on the slide itself. This helped us see what the extent of the water damage was.
This stuff doesn't need to be preserved very well because it's just on the inside, and the real stuff that is holding the seal out is on the outside, so I don't really care about this stuff. Look at that rot!
At this point, you're going to want to unbolt your slide.
Alright, so we ended up unbolting the slide and removing the face. There's about 6 bolts that run along the bottom bars, a bar that connects the back of the slide, and there's a little face that just goes up against it. Look at that. No wall. You just remove that piece and then the face piece, and then unbolt it, and then you could actually pull the slide directly out, which gave me direct access to the wood rotted area, the base, this entire part of the wall, which I'll be able to remove completely. Pull this piece out, pull that piece out, pull this down, and then pull this piece. Well, this piece is already out because it rotted entirely. And then replace all the new ones, replace the flooring and the base. We'll end up scabbing onto the floor here just to give a little bit more support. And then this part will have to be probably be cut and then redone, and we'll be done. Yay!
You're going to have to remove all of the nails and the staples from the slide. Lucas and I have this joke that if an entire fifth wheel rotted away or got eaten by bugs, there would still be all of the staples and the nails that remain because they use so many of them. So you're not going to be able to put something brand new in there flush if there's still staples or nails in there, so you have to take them out. Just make sure you don't rip through the sliding because that's really easy to do.
Why did you make it look so easy?
It's Octagon.
I can't! They're not sharp.
Wait, Thea, you're just yelling at me for something about being sexist or something?
It's not easy. You can't take off the siding.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to avoid. If I take the siding off, all this insulation falls out. You want to go do that?
I'm just saying it'd be easier.
Here, this might be easier for you. Go with this. Take these and grab them, and then just be like...
You told me not to do that because you didn't want me to put a hole.
I don't want you to put a hole in them. I just want you to bend them back and forth, and then they might come apart easier.
Enough for it to drip through there, and it doesn't take much rain. Look, it's the path of least resistance.
I can't.
We pulled out what looks like plywood boards together. We replaced it with a solid piece of wood instead all the way around. We bought 2x6s. We measured what we pulled out of there, and we had to cut them down just a little bit on all sides, and then we were able to replace the rotted part.
All right, now we're talking. Making some progress.
No nails.
No one knows why. Those are still almost good. rip them out.
When we replaced the boards, we did the right side, the left side, and then the top. That's not necessarily like a rule of thumb or a how-to, that's just a description of what we did. You want to remove the extra screws from the liner before reattaching it, so that way you can have it flush. You want to screw the rubber seal back on afterwards. You want to screw the new big boards that you use for the frame into the 1-bys. And after the slide wall is repaired, you could put the slide, the wood on the slide itself, and then just refold the liner on top of that. At this point, you would re-bolt the slide. And that's it. Hopefully this description of what we did helps you in your renovation. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the comments below, and subscribe if you want more videos. We have a couple more on water damage coming up, and then we're gonna hopefully have some more before and afters when we get closer to being done with our RV.